Hello. Today we will be discussing separation anxiety disorder. To begin, the DMS-5 defines a separation anxiety disorder as having developmentally inappropriate or excessive fear or anxiety concerning separation from those to whom the individual is attached. Now, the key words here are excessive and inappropriate. Anxiety is a natural human emotion. We all experience it. We may experience anxiety in anticipation of giving a public speech or in taking a test that we're not quite prepared for. However, in individuals with this disorder, the anxiety that they experience is much, much greater. And it could also be inappropriate depending on the age of the individual with the disorder. For instance, it would be quite abnormal to witness a 40-year-old adult having anxiety in anticipation of separation from their parents or significant other. Now, the DMS-5 gives 8 symptoms, and you must have at least 3 out of these symptoms in order to qualify for this diagnosis. One is you have recurrent excessive distress when anticipating or experiencing the separation. 2, persistent and excessive worry about losing a major attachment figure or harm coming to them. Persistent and excessive worry about experiencing a bad event that would cause you to be separated. Persistent reluctance or refusal to go away from home because of fear of separation. Persistent and excessive fear or reluctance about being alone, period. 6, persistence, reluctance or refusal to sleep away from home or to fall asleep without having your major attachment figure near. Repeated nightmares involving the theme of separation. And finally, 8, repeated complaints of physical symptoms when separation occurs or is anticipated. Now, the DMS-5 gives 3 other diagnostic criteria for this disorder. One is that the fear must persist for at least 4 months in children and 6 months in adults. The disturbance will cause clinically significant distress and dysfunction individual socially, occupationally, and academically. And finally, the disturbance is not better explained by another mental disorder. Now, the prevalence rate for this disorder is 4% in children between the ages of 6 and 12, 1.6% in adolescents, and 0.9% to 1.9% in adults. Now, there are 12 differential diagnoses that the DMS-5 lists. These are diagnoses that have similarities to separation anxiety disorder, but they are not separation anxiety disorder. So the first would be generalized anxiety disorder. This is where individuals are experiencing anxiety over pretty much anything. And again, with separation anxiety disorder, the key theme there is the separation. There is panic disorders. People with panic disorders, their panic attacks are brought on by pretty much anything, again. But with individuals with separation anxiety disorder, the panic is brought on by the anticipation of the separation and usually dissipates once the separation ends. Agoraphobia. These are individuals who are afraid of being locked in with the inability to escape. Individuals with separation anxiety disorder are not afraid of being locked in, they're afraid of being locked away from their major attachment figure. Conduct disorders, specifically in children, truancy is very prevalent. However, with individuals with separation anxiety disorder, children with this disorder, they do not stay away from school because of any other reason other than the anticipation of the separation. There are social anxiety disorders. These are individuals who are afraid of being judged by others, and individuals with separation anxiety disorder are not afraid of being judged. Again, it's specifically regarding the separation. There's post-traumatic stress disorder, and individuals with PTSD, they are constantly trying to avoid an event that took place in their lives. They may indeed have nightmares, and individuals with separation anxiety disorder, again, have repeated dreams of separation. However, the key here is the separation and not the traumatic event itself. Then there's illness anxiety disorder. These are individuals who are concerned about specific illnesses. Individuals with separation anxiety disorder may complain, have physical symptoms, but those symptoms usually dissipate once the separation ends. There's bereavement disorders. These are individuals who cannot stop grieving over the death of a loved one. Individuals with separation anxiety disorder, their grieving is over the separation, and once the separation ends, the grieving ends as well. Then there are depressive and bipolar disorders. Individuals with separation anxiety disorder will experience depression at the anticipation of separation. However, again, those symptoms dissipate once the separation ends. There's oppositional defiant disorders. This is particularly pointing to children who are oppositional and defiant, and for any reason. However, individuals with separation anxiety disorder may be defiant or act out specifically because of the separation only. There are psychotic disorders. These individuals experience a distorted view or hallucinations that are brought on, triggered by any number of events. Individuals with separation anxiety disorder may have a distorted view or thought process of the separation, but it is due specifically for the separation, and usually ends once the separation ends. And then there are personality disorders, and specifically, these are individuals who are dependent on others. Individuals or children with separation anxiety disorder are not so much dependent on their major attachment figure as they are just simply wanting to be near their attachment figure. So, the comorbidity rate, comorbidity of separation anxiety disorder. These are additional disorders that may accompany separation anxiety disorder. So in children and adolescents, they could have generalized anxiety disorder and specific phobias. However, in adults, the list is a little longer. Adults could also have separation anxiety disorder and PTSD or panic disorder, social anxiety disorder, agoraphobia, generalized anxiety disorder, OCD, personality disorder, specific phobia, and depressive and bipolar disorders. Now, the treatment for separation anxiety disorder in adults, children, and adolescents is cognitive behavioral therapy. And the focus here is on learning relaxation techniques, learning to recognize the anxiety and the thoughts and physical responses. They will be utilizing systematic desensitization. For children, the therapy looks a little different. They'll be using modeling and role play, and parents are encouraged to get involved. They will also be utilizing support groups, and antidepressant medication will be prescribed. In very young children, though, they will be subjected to what is called play therapy, and this is where the therapist will utilize toys, puppets, games, and art to help the child express their feelings and understand the reasons behind them, and then provide the child with alternative ways of coping. So in conclusion, separation anxiety disorder is diagnosed more prevalent in children between 6 to 12 years of age than in any other population. It is a natural development for children 6 months to 3 years of age to experience symptoms of separation anxiety. However, for older children and adults to be diagnosed, the symptoms must persist at least 4 consecutive months. This disorder is persistent, overwhelming, and causes great distress and dysfunction. This disorder is often accompanied by other comorbid disorders which exacerbate the distress. However, the good news is that separation anxiety disorder has a high treatment success rate in both children and adults. So this concludes my presentation. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned something from it. Until next time, thank you. Goodbye.